Good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are right now. I'm Elizabeth Snodgrass, Director of the Wisconsin Union Theater at UW-Madison. Welcome to our very first virtual concert series event. We hope you have been staying healthy and safe, and thank you for joining us on this beautiful day. Of course, we did not know today's event would fall on such a newsworthy day, and we thank you for taking time out to be with us. While I wish we were all together in Shannon Hall at the Union Theater, I'm glad we can bring you programming in this new way for now. For those of you tuning in, if you have not yet purchased a ticket to the performance tonight at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, you still can. Just go online to artsticketing.wisc.edu or email the box office at boxoffice@union.wisc.edu. And that information will be displayed again at the end of this presentation. Tonight's program, Midnight in Paris, features works by some of our favorite French composers. Thank you to our performing artists, Camille Thomas and Julien Brocal, for the beautiful recording you will hear tonight, and for taking the time to do this live chat with us today. And thank you to our moderator, James Waldo, who is a graduate student studying cello at UW-Madison. And now, please welcome to the virtual stage, Camille, Julien, and James. Take it away.
Good afternoon and good evening, Camille and Julien. It's great to have you here, and we are thrilled for your concert tonight. My first question is naturally, what's it like to be performing in the age of COVID and doing concerts such as the one you'll be doing tonight? Either of you can take this one.
Yeah, for sure, it's new, and it's kind of exciting too to see that even if we cannot be together, we find ways, and that we always find ways to share music, to share art, and I really believe that beauty can win over chaos. And right now it's so important to continue playing. So I'm very thankful to the theater Wisconsin that made this possible tonight, that we played in Paris, a concert, we recorded it. We were really imagining and feeling that we were playing for the public in the US. And yeah, that the technology can bring us together. It's something very beautiful.
Yeah, that's wonderful, and of course we miss you here, and we wish we could take you out on the terrace of our union, and we hope maybe next time that we'll be able to do that and grab some beers. But for the time being, and Julien, what's it like for you to play knowing that you don't have that the energy in the same way that we as performers just have become so accustomed to? What's that like for you?
It's true what Camille said. It's very different, but the musicians have the tendency to accommodate to tough, difficult moments in their lives. It's very challenging to be a musician nowadays, yes, but it has always been difficult and challenging, and so I'm sure this kind of opportunity to bring the music with technology, use the technology, the mean of technology to gather people together with music. I think it's a chance. It's our luck right now. And thank you to the Wisconsin Union Theater for making this happen.
Well, we're really looking forward to tonight's concert, and as we get ready, I have some questions for both of you about the music and about yourselves. So I'll start with a question for Ms. Thomas. And you started cello at age 5, so you've been playing cello for almost your entire life. And I wanted to ask you if there was any particular experience that drew you to the cello first of all, and also was there a moment when you kind of knew that this was what you were going to do with your life, whatever the challenges that lay ahead?
Yeah, I was 4 actually when I
Oh,
started playing,
4. Wow. Okay.
and I was born in a musician's family. My mother was playing the piano, and my older sister was playing the violin. And very naturally, I asked to play an instrument too. And we listened to instrument to record at home. And I remember the sound of the cello. That was my first memory. It was a big shock, and I said, "This is what I want to do." And since that day, I'm a cellist. I mean, I have no memory without a cello,
Mm.
and I have also no memory of day where I decided to be a cellist. After that, it was just a part of me from this very very first day when I was 4. I don't even remember, but yeah, it's like that. I feel that I have the music in me, and I need to share it, and I need to do everything what is in my power to be able to share it. So that's why I was always practicing, working like crazy, and I'm thinking about this all the time. Sometimes it's too much, but it's just it's my somehow it's like one I am here on earth to share music and beauty and bring something with it. I just feel it, and that's what I do.
Well, I based on what I've heard, I think there's no question that you found the right place to be. And I also noticed in your bio that you have worked with Franz Helmerson, who is just known among the cello world as one of the great pedagogues of cello, and that must have been an amazing experience. And you've seemed to work with a number of great artists, and I'm curious if there's anything from any of your mentors that has stuck out particularly to you as something to carry with you.
Yes, it's very nice that you mentioned Franz Helmerson, because he's one of the biggest teacher I ever met. And the most important thing that I learned from him was to become my own teacher, and to become my own master. So to be able to hear what I do, and to know what I want to do artistically. And so what he was doing was just to help the student to develop into what they were as artists. He wasn't trying to make little Franz Helmerson or little, like image of a cellist, but he was just trying to give us tools to become what we are, and to have a singular voice. And I think that's the
It's
best
fantastic.
thing
It's
I
amazing.
have.
So, in your journey to find yourself and your artistic voice, you have met this pianist, Julien Brocal. And how did the two of you begin playing together? And what led you to do this project? Is this your first project, or have you done projects before?
You can answer, Julien, if you want.
We met in a festival in Spain, and we were not supposed to play together, but we decided to play a small prayer by Ernest Bloch, and that was the trigger. We thought, this is really incredible to that match. It's very genuine and very natural to breathe together. It's not playing together; it's breathing together. And since then, we've played a couple of times. We came to America. We did our debut in New York together last November, just before
Good
this.
timing.
Yeah. It was exactly a year ago, and time is flying.
That's wow. Well, I hope you have many more opportunities to play together, and it's
Because
you will.
it will yeah, we were supposed to be in Warsaw like in 2 weeks, and we're very sad not to play. So there is a lot of consolation, but I'm full of hope that it will start again. And,
Absolutely. I have no question. And speaking of the prayer by Bloch, you have this Kaddish on your program with the Ravel's Kaddish that you have arranged. And I wanted you to maybe either of you could speak about these powerful prayers and the way that they translate to the cello. Um, what can we take from these prayers which come from such a deep place, and what do they mean to you to translate these, to quote unquote translate this music into instrumental music? How was that experience for you?
for actually for me, every note what I play is a prayer in a way. I feel that the music is connecting people and is speaking about things that are beyond words. And so, of course, Kaddish is extremely special and extremely moving. We love it. With Julien, it's a very special piece for us because, yeah, it's a Yiddish piece, Jewish piece, and it's a prayer for the dead. So there is really it's very deep. But when I play Chopin, when we play even Debussy, even if it's not the same language, but it's everything is going into one direction, which is yeah, there. I don't know. It depends. There is many names, but I think yeah, it's about love, and prayer is about giving love, and music is about giving love. So for me, everything is connected.
Yeah, that's beautiful, and I think the Kaddish as a prayer for the dead is especially resonant right now,
Yeah.
in this time when so many of us have had our lives turned upside down and lost loved ones from the pandemic. And I know that will hit me very deeply tonight. And so I'm grateful that you're going to those places, which I know ask a lot of you as performers to go and go to that place, which resonates within us and opens our hearts. And along those lines, there's a message of hope that you mentioned. And Camille, you had earlier this year in June 2020 your second album as a Deutsche Grammophon artist entitled Voice of Hope. And this, a lot of musicians talk about how music is going to make the world a better place, and it's beautiful. But it seems like you're really doing something that seems, in addition to the music itself, there's a concrete partnership here. You have this partnership with UNICEF. And I was really delighted to see that. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how that partnership has played out with this album and Deutsche Grammophon and UNICEF.
Yes, I mean, I strongly believe that beauty can save the world, and I say it with words and with music, mostly with notes. But I also wanted to put it in actions. And for a long time, I was involved in little things, but I thought it would be so maybe powerful to have the music, the notes of this album connected with something very concrete. So I asked UNICEF because for me it represents, I mean, children, education. That's what represents hope the most for me. And so I'm very happy that a part of the benefits of this album are going to the UNICEF. And it's the beginning of many other projects, because yeah, it's also something, it's a gift that the music gives us a voice through the music, but also a voice that sometimes people hear. And I want to use this voice for the children, and to do something good and concrete also.
That's wonderful. And that's a great motivation for those out there listening now and tonight. If they pick up that record, a portion of it will will help out these in addition to bringing beautiful music into one's home. It changes the face of the world in a little bit of a good way. So that's really wonderful. Thank you for using your platform in that way. I think that's beautiful.
I hope to do more and more.
Yes, and so I wanted to shift over to the music of Chopin now, since you have this wonderful Parisian program tonight, and we know that Chopin was a wonderful transplant from Poland to Paris, and so Julien, you have approached the music of Chopin as a pianist. It really is, it's your terrain. But now we have these pieces that he wrote for piano and cello, and we don't have much chamber music by Chopin. And so, what's going on here? How did these pieces come to be, and what do you make of them?
It's true, and Chopin actually, when he wrote his music for piano, he always thought for the left hand that it is the cello. He tried to build his left hand as a cellist would do, and the right hand would be the singer. He was totally obsessed with sopranos. He was in love, falling in love with every soprano out there, and so combined together, the cello is the human voice, and I think he always dreamt of doing this cello piece. Like the Opus 3 is one of his first works, actually. And then the Opus 65, it's almost the last. I think Opus 66 is the last piece, is the nocturnes. But this cello work was written with his friend Auguste Franchomme. And it's really the music of friendship, and we can see how the music assembles, and he was really helped to do so, really helped by Auguste to write for the instrument, because I think he was not really into the educational system of a composer, the knowledge of what a composer should have. He was more dedicated into his intuition, and the technical help was given by his friend. It's the same way with the orchestral works, the concertos. He was helped to do the orchestral version.
That's really fascinating, and I have a special interest in the way that these duo sonatas have emerged from our favorite composers. There's so often a friendship, a relationship there that spurs them on, and they end up being some of our most beloved repertoire. And so you were mentioning voice. Both of you have used the word voice quite a bit, and I thought this would be a great moment to talk about this wonderful 1710 Stradivarius cello that you have been playing for this past year, Ms. Thomas. Tell us about the cello. What's it been like for you to play this instrument?
It's really like a dream come true. I can't believe I have this luck to play on this cello. It's one of the most beautiful cello in the world. It's an instrument by Antonio Stradivarius, and he made it in 1730 in Cremona. And it was played by very famous cellists like Stephen Easterlist, and before Emmanuel Feuermann, and even before it was played by Auguste Franchomme.
Wow, that's amazing. That gives me the chills. Wow.
And we know this very special connection that Chopin had with Franchomme. They were friends for their whole life. When he arrived in Paris, he was very young, and he met Auguste Franchomme right at the beginning. And this sonata, he wrote it at the end of his life. He was very sick, and he was not going out. He was in this little apartment on the Place Vendôme. And there is one very moving story that when he was lying on his bed, these last hours, Franco came and played the sonata for him, the second.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So that's probably the last thing he heard, the cello. And he wrote also in one letter that his favorite instrument was the cello. So I think it's very funny this pianist who just composed for piano, of course. His favorite instrument was obviously piano, but I think, cello was something very important. And he only composed for cello. He composed a trio and then these pieces, and there is nothing else. So it's very special, this connection. And I believe that Franco was playing on this Strad that I have here.
Oh my goodness.
For Chopin. And but I think it's incredible.
What a special legacy to become a part of at this moment in your career. It's thrilling and it's very exciting. And you mentioned also Emmanuel Foreman, one of the great cellists of the early 20th century. And I know that there are the other Chopin piece that you have from Chopin's earlier days, or the Opus 3, the Polonaise Brillante. One of the versions that we hear, the performance versions that we hear, is one that Foreman made. So we know that he spent time on this piece as well, and probably on that same cello, right? So which I know we have the original version of the Polonaise, and then there's the Maurice Jean Drouin, and then Foreman. Which version will you be playing for us tonight?
I made a bit naughty gift to my friend Julien because I want to play the original version, which is a piece that Chopin composed for Prince. I don't remember exactly, but someone in Poland who could play the cello quite well, but still not at the level of Chopin, of course. So for the cello is quite an easy piece, and the piano part is terribly difficult. That's why Maurice Jean Drouin wrote, then he rewrote it with all the technical passage on the cello. So not the piano, but on the cello. But for me, I think it's more beautiful on the piano. So
Sure.
Julia had to do all the work, and I'm just.
It's more Chopin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. That's great, and you have such a soaring lyrical sound that those melodies really, that's really the best of that piece is those wonderful melodies, both in the introduction, which is just, everyone must listen to this piece tonight. It's just amazing. So that's super exciting. And so going back to the Strad, I have to ask, because I know there was a video that you made recently, and we're all finding ways during this pandemic to connect, and you were on the rooftop of your Parisian apartment with a cello, and you were playing the Kaddish. And I wanted to ask, is that the Strad, or do you have a stunt double cello for these kinds of situations?
Yeah, I didn't have. So I played with the Strad.
That's amazing. Paris is very lucky.
I was hesitating a lot before going on the roof with the instrument because I was a bit scared, even if it's not dangerous. It looks a little bit dangerous, but it's not. I would not have take any risk with the instrument. You cannot imagine how much I love it and how much I'm stressed about the instrument every second of the day. I knew there were no risk, but even though I was a bit stressed, of course, to do it. But at the same time, I wanted to make a beautiful recording, and to have this most amazing sounding on the roof of Paris, and this symbol to have the Strad resonating on all Paris was for me very strong. So
it's now a part of the instrument's story, and Paris is very fortunate to have that music played over them, and also to hear that prayer solo cello, and it really connected with the cantorial origins. So it's really nice.
Thank you.
And that's on your Facebook page, your personal Facebook fan page, if folks want to check that out.
Actually, I played some more pieces. I played this Kaddish solo, but I played also some other pieces with piano, and it was impossible to invite Julien, who was So, but we always made it as duo. So he recorded his part in Brussels, exactly where he is now, on the piano, and he was sending me, and then I was playing on the roof with my AirPod and listening to what he was playing and then recording on it. So we invented the new way of doing a duo and chamber music in 2020.
That's fantastic. Good for you. I think we will.
We already did it, but we just yeah.
The creativity that you mentioned earlier, I think it will have implications beyond the pandemic. Of course, we want to be back in the same rooms together, and hopefully, as soon as possible, we will be able to resume the normal activities. But I've also been so impressed by the ways that different artists have found new ways to collaborate, and I think that some of those barriers we now are learning new tools, and so I think we'll see sort of a hybrid in the future of in-person concerts the way we've always known them, and then also, things like what you describe, where you find ways, you just find a way to do it and to play, and hopefully that brings more connectivity and collaboration across the borders geographically and in different genres. So and you have, I wanted to just, you have a piece, collection of pieces by Boulanger on the program tonight as well, to add to your Parisian program. And this was a set of pieces that I was not familiar with, and so I really enjoyed getting to know those pieces. Can you tell us a little bit about either your relationship with these pieces or what their story is? Or?
Yeah, they're very new. I wanted to play these three pieces for a long time because I think they're amazing. It's a little bit like Debussy. It was in three parts and the same length, only 10 minutes. The last movement is like Debussy, a little bit Spanish and very full of energy and fire. But I think there is a very special tenderness in the two first movements that is quite feminine also, and it's important for me to also play a female composer, and I think she was one of the greatest composer, French composer that we have. Also, it was quite very moving. We played this concert at Salle Cortot, and this is a part of the École Normale de Paris where she was she were like a very big teacher and very big personality of this place. So it's like a homage to her, and I'm happy if you enjoyed the pieces because I think they are really really amazing.
Oh yeah, so simple and yet so there's a simplicity in the voicing. It's just there's almost a duet in a way between those. I think you have sixths right in the piano starting out, and underneath this soaring melodic. It's very kind of bare bones in a way, but it brings out all of the rich, expressive qualities that both the piano and the cello do so well together. So well, we're very excited for the concert this evening, and it's available. I think tickets are available for tonight's premiere, and also tickets will remain available, I believe, for the next 7 days. So for folks who aren't able to tune in this evening or who are overseas, and it will be 3:30 in the morning when we launch the premiere, you can check out this wonderful concert by Camille Thomas and Julien Brocal, and we have tickets available online at Campus Arts Ticketing. It's artsticketing.wisc.edu. After purchasing a ticket, you will be emailed the link to the performance, so folks can check that out. And we're grateful to both of you for your time and joining us for today's conversation. It was wonderful to hear about your experiences with these pieces and a bit of your background, and we will look forward to tonight's premiere of the concert, and we wish you health and wellness, and I know that there's some celebrating going on over in Paris as well as here.
With you and to be connected with the music, it's amazing, really.
Yes. And I guess to conclude, I just wanted to I had a question, and either of you can weigh in on this. And there's a message that I saw on your website, Camille, about how your understanding of art's power to bring people together, to unite individuals from diverse cultures, countries, and backgrounds. It's an important part of what you do. And we're in a time right now where, for many of us, it seems especially difficult to remain hopeful, to experience any sense of unity. Even as we celebrate, many people are mourning, and we have a great sense of divide here. So, since this is an American audience that you're playing for, where does music come into play in all this, and how can we come together around music?
I mean, do you want to answer, Julien?
I will make a very simple answer. I think we come from the same stardust, so the unity is here. We come from the same. We are the same inside, and the music is relating us to this source, to this inner source, and being able to connect to that, maybe a solution, connect through music to ourselves and then to the world.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
I agree.
Well, thank you both so much, and as I said, be well and keep in touch. We look forward to having you out on the terrace at some point in the future of our lovely Wisconsin Union here in Madison, Wisconsin.
We will enjoy it 100 times more than if we would have come. I mean, it will be like a gift. That's something that I appreciate from this situation. I think everything that happened, we see it like a true gift. Every concert and every conversation, we can just see that it's not for granted, that it's beautiful. So it will be such a gift to be in the US again and play.
Well, we look forward to having you, and let's make it happen. Everybody we'll all do our part to get through this together and have you back in the United States. So, all right, wonderful. Well, you both have a lovely evening in Paris, and we'll look forward to seeing your concert.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.
Au revoir.